In 3.5 years of full-time travel, we've never been willing to sacrifice someplace new for a place like this. Until now.
We don't go back to the same cities, so the fact that we're even saying this should tell you something.
After traveling 32 hours from New Zealand to Luang Prabang, I came downstairs our first morning and my initial thought was 16 days is not going to be enough time to get to know the people here. I don't know why I felt that way.
And we almost skipped an excursion that forced us to be more present, and it may not exist much longer.
Here's why. I'm Judy.
And I'm Kevin. Welcome back to Finding Gina Marie, where we share our lives as full-time travelers and the connections we make along the way.
We have some friends who were already in Luang Prabang when we arrived. And one of the first things they did was invite us out to the Mekong River for some drinks and dinner. I don't think we realized what a perfect setup this was for our time in Laos. And then through those same friends, we ended up at a cocktail bar called the Icon Club one evening, which we would never have found on our own.
Not a chance. We rarely ever spend time in a bar or pub, especially in the evenings.
And what was cool was the bartender turned out to be the bar owner, and she's also a writer, a philanthropist, an artist, yeah. Pretty impressive. And she's even turned the second floor into a gallery space to help raise educational funds for children in Cambodia. And I think what was cool about that is we ended up meeting more people that we didn't know.
And through that same circle of friends who had met other friends, we were invited on a private sunset cruise on the Mekong River.
And some of those people live in Laos for multiple months out of the year, which was pretty cool because they had a deeper understanding of things than we did.
Yeah, they gave us a vibe for how to live here.
Part of the way through the cruise, the captain pulled back to shore and picked up his wife, which was really sweet. But she ended up bringing us a special treat. So Mr. Beautiful's wife brought us some seaweed, and I've been really excited to taste it anyway. But there's so many different kinds to see in the market. So I'm excited.
This is officially riverweed.
Riverweed. Yeah. Oh, it's really good.
There's sticky rice you put on top.
Oh, great. Really?
I don't know. I'm enjoying it quite a lot.
Especially with the sticky rice. You know, there's a lot of flavor in the riverweed, and then the rice just has some nice body to it. It's great. Didn't expect to get treats like this on this boat. It's great.
Part of what made this so special, it wasn't anything that we had planned or prearranged. It was just letting things unfold.
And I think that set a pattern for the time we spent in Laos. Being open to experiences, not going after them, but letting them come to us.
Which is a really foreign concept for someone who typically spends a lot of time doing travel planning.
This city has a way of making slower choices seem obvious. We would sit in this cafe, which was in the morning market, and we sat right across from fishmongers. That wasn't what I expected to do at our morning coffee.
No, especially since you have a sense of smell.
Yeah.
But it was really cool to just watch people weigh fish, clean fish, and
deal with the customers.
Deal with customers. Watching the flow of daily life here, which was just fascinating.
Yeah, a kind coffee shop owner and just this people watching was a great experience to start the day with.
The French influence is real here too. It's in the architecture and in the cafes. In fact, several people recommended we try Le Banneton French bakery, but we never made it there.
Well, we were enjoying the Mekong River too much. There's plenty of eateries and places to spend time with on the river.
Yeah, you're right. I can't have too many regrets about that.
One of our experiences while sipping coffee on the Mekong River was watching two guys climb these coconut trees, and not just to grab coconuts, but also the palm fronds because they were thatching roofs with them.
Yeah, it was quite interesting. We could have stayed there for hours, except for the fact that there were seedlings that were falling into our coffee. So Kevin was constantly having to cover his cup. Hard to drink that way.
I love the theater, but I don't like my coffee messed up.
It almost felt like the Mekong was a magnet. It kept drawing us back into people's everyday lives in a way that was just completely unexpected.
I forgot how much we love Southeast Asia. I was looking forward to being here, but now that we're here, like, I am so excited to learn more about the people and the history and the culture.
I think it's really nice that we're on a river too, which shows a whole side of life. Like last night we were having drinks with friends and the river's right below us, and just seeing all the boats and all the people singing and having a good time, karaoke or just dancing, you know, it was like, this is just beautiful to see people happy and enjoying themselves, and it doesn't feel over touristed. It doesn't feel like a heavy tourist area.
And we have a Shompoo cruise coming up later in this video.
Yep.
We even went back for several evenings to watch the sunset, which honestly was outstanding. Now, I don't want to oversell what the Mekong is. It is not the Mediterranean.
The river is wide and brown, and really it is a working river.
And the people who are living on that river are fishing, ferrying, trading. It has a weight and a purpose to it that you just feel when you're sitting beside it.
And being able to order some drinks and just watch the sunset go down is a beautiful experience.
I don't think you can ever see too many sunsets in your life.
It's hard to describe just how important these small moments are and how this lifestyle fits so well with us.
Those small moments along the river meant as much or more than some of the bigger things we did while we were here.
We walked a lot in this city, along the Mekong River and then up into the Old Town area, in addition to the split of the river, which we found by accident actually when we were going towards another site. And then we bumped into another section of town where there were higher end shops and restaurants, which we really didn't expect at all. The city had so many little surprises around every nook and cranny.
And this goes back to where you stay makes a huge difference in your experience of a place. Where we stayed in the peninsula area of Luang Prabang was perfect. We were at the Golden Sun Hotel and we were just steps away from the river and the busy side of the river.
On one of our walks through the main part of town to go get some dinner, we noticed they were setting up for the night market, so we decided to take a full trip down and enjoy every booth we could during that.
There's a ton of handcrafts, more than most places that we've been. But of course, the market was smaller than, let's say, major cities in Thailand. But we kind of liked that. I think it felt a little bit more authentic.
And you gotta look really hard for some of these things. Like some of the food sections were not on the main strip. You had to find a little alley that you go down, and suddenly there's all these booths selling food, or there'd be a restaurant front end where people could sit and enjoy eating the food. It was not the simple, oh, here's a block of rows of things to go visit. You had to really explore.
But we do have a cautionary tale to share about our night market experience.
So like any crowded area, this is a night market. There's a lot of people here, and some people are doing bad things, like trying to get into our bags. This was on the back of me instead of the front of me, and I felt someone unzipping it. I grabbed it and we walked quickly away, but it was...
And we have felt really safe here.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't felt threatened or
No,
at all.
Not at all,
So-
but this is a crowded area.
And it's
Anytime-
a night market.
Yeah, anytime you have a crowded area in any city, you have to watch your stuff, keep your bags in front of you. The simple rules that we're going to follow even stricter now.
Right. Especially because it's really crowded and you're distracted by everything that you're paying attention to. So you really do need to keep your wits about you. Fortunately, Kevin did.
And despite that experience, this is still a place that we would come back to without hesitation.
And a quick note about the country name. We were told by one of our guides that it's Laos as the country. Lao people, Lao culture, Lao food, but the country name is Laos.
There's some history here that I wanted to learn more about, so we headed to the UXO Visitor Center.
UXO stands for Unexploded Ordnance. And if you don't know the history, Laos is one of the most heavily bombed countries per capita in history. During the Vietnam War era, the US dropped more bombs on Laos than were dropped in all of World War II combined. And a significant portion of those bombs never detonated.
They're still in the ground decades later, and people are still being killed and injured by them. Farmers, children.
Imagine having to learn about unexploded bombs in elementary school. This is worlds away from how we grew up.
And there are these particle bombs which have thousands of little balls, which I could appreciate would look super attractive to a child. The UXO Lao Visitor Center documents that history and the ongoing work to clear the land and support survivors. It's not an easy visit, but we felt like it was a really important one.
Here's a country carrying an enormous weight of war that wasn't even theirs.
And yet, the people that we encountered all were genuinely welcoming and warm-hearted. And I really want us to be very careful about how we talk about this, because I don't want to romanticize it or be reductive in any way.
Yeah, it's not like everybody here has easier lives. Clearly they don't.
I think there was just an unexplained lightness here that we don't always encounter every place we go. Of course, people were friendly and polite, but they were more. There was more happiness. The smiles were bigger.
And I feel like even the people at the hotel we were at, their interaction was more like a family situation. There was a lot of laughter, there was a lot of fun, and they're always so gracious to us.
In fact, I want to kick myself a tiny bit because one of the places that we were at, I really wanted to tell the waitress that she seemed like the happiest person I'd ever met. And I just didn't say it, and I feel bad about it, but it's true.
If you're watching, you're the best.
One of the ways that we thought we could understand the Lao people a little bit more, go a little bit deeper, was to visit Wat Ching Thong, Temple of the Golden City.
This is one of the most significant temples in the country, and the detail, the gold stenciling on the exterior walls, the sweeping roof lines, it's the kind of place you find yourself just standing still because there's so much to take in. Give it time, it earns it.
What I really didn't expect was how many little mini temples there were here. I thought there would be one big main temple, and that would be it. I didn't expect to be...
It's a village.
Yeah, it's a whole village
Of temples. Beautiful flowers.
The buildings are covered in mosaics that are telling stories, scenes from daily life, from history, from tradition. And you don't need to speak Lao or even understand every specific reference to follow what's being communicated.
The imagery does the work for you. Tiny pieces of colored glass and tile forming detailed narrative scenes.
And then Wat Ki Li genuinely caught us off guard.
And the surrounding village is quieter, more neighborhood, less visited. It felt like a discovery even though it wasn't hidden.
And I think that's the pattern we kept finding here. The more you dig a little deeper, the more you're rewarded for it.
We got up early one morning to observe Tak Bat, the monks' almsgiving ceremony. And this is something visitors should approach very respectfully.
Now, you can be part of a tour that organizes this experience for you, but we'd heard mixed opinions about that, so we decided to just be observers this time. We positioned ourselves across the street from where the offerings were being made, and where we were, it wasn't crowded at all. Just a few monks, very quiet, very unhurried.
Which isn't always the case depending on where you are in the city.
Right. In some areas, the ceremony has become very commercialized. Hundreds of people making offerings, food being wasted, the whole thing losing its meaning.
The whole point is to feed the monks. And if there's waste going on, that goes against their whole process of being monks.
So we happened to find a quieter version of it without really even planning to. And it was one of those moments where you feel like you're witnessing something real. And when you can find it that way, it feels like it belongs to the people here and it's not about tourism.
That said, there are things we missed. There are incredible handicrafts going on in this town that we just didn't get to do.
There's batik and paper making and weaving, tons of true artisans doing work here that we really wanted to see and participate in if we could. There's even a village here that's dedicated to keeping these traditions alive, which made it feel even worse that we had to skip some of those things.
But you know, the good part about it is when we don't do everything, we get a reason to come back and visit this place again.
And as we told you, we would already absolutely come back to this same Luang Prabang and experience it again more fully than even we did this time.
Which brings us back to what Judy said coming down the stairs that first morning.
16 days is not going to be enough time to get to know the people here.
One quick practical note, if you're coming here to get some work done, be aware that there are power outages and there are poor internet connections in places. So make sure you have a backup plan.
For us, we ended up working in cafes, which was great because it led us to be out among people and the Mekong, and so that wasn't a bad thing. We were doing more than just answering emails from those cafes. We were in the final stretch of getting something ready to launch that we've been building for travelers like us and you. But Voyage Vault, the personal finance app built for people who love to travel, did make it out, and we're so excited to share it with you.
We built it because we couldn't find one tool that handled everything we actually needed on the road. We've been using it ourselves to manage our trips, track our spending, handle multiple currencies, and store every confirmation, receipt, visa, and document that goes with each trip. It even helps with things like keeping an eye on the Schengen 90-day rule.
Voyage Vault is available now in the Apple App Store and runs on your iPhone, iPad, and Mac.
If you check it out, we'd love to hear what you think. Let us know in the comments or send us a message.
Okay, back to the river, because we still need to talk to you about the one part of this trip that we almost skipped.
The Shompoo cruise. 2 days on the Mekong River with no real internet. When you work online, that feels uncomfortable.
But we booked it anyway.
Which turned out to be one of the better decisions we made in Laos. The Shompoo cruise runs along the Mekong River from Luang Prabang into Thailand.
And there's something you need to know about this journey. There's a dam being built on the Mekong, and when it's complete, this experience may not be possible in the same way, or even at all. So if this is something you're considering, don't wait. We're so glad we didn't. Next week, we'll take you on the river itself. 2 days on the Mekong, all the logistics, and how this must-see experience felt for us. So after all that, what did Laos actually cost us? Travel from Queenstown cost us $1,386 or $693 per person. Lodging close to the Mekong River at Golden Sun Boutique Hotel was $915 or $61 per day. Getting around the city was a modest $7. Dining and groceries were a total of $513 or $17 per person per day. One of the most affordable places we've ever stayed. And when we were hanging around cafes, we were buying drinks and stuff that we normally wouldn't be doing on our own otherwise. Activities, everything we did, all of it, was a whopping $36. So the total cost for 15 days in Luang Prabang, including getting there from Queenstown, was $2,961. Strip out the flights and you're looking at $1,575, which breaks down to $105 per day or $53 per person per day.
And then the Shompoo cruise. 2 days on the Mekong, including tips, came to $685. Our overnight at Pat Bang Lodge was included. The dinner cost us $40. So the cruise portion totaled $725.
Which means our entire time in Laos, 15 days in Luang Prabang, plus the 2-day river journey to Thailand, came to $2,300 once you set aside the cost of getting there from New Zealand. And the cruise wasn't just an experience, it was our transportation to Bangkok. So if you're routing through Southeast Asia, that's worth factoring in.
I don't know if this video has done justice to all that we've experienced here in Laos. This culture, these people, this time we spent, the fact that we slowed down, gave ourselves room to meet people, to connect with locals, made all the difference for me.
And I think that's what I was feeling that very first day, even though I didn't know how to articulate it. The people were going to be such an important part of our time here, and they really were. And if you come here, which I really hope you do, you'll do it in a way that allows you to slow down and be present, allow the people and the river and the city to teach you things, to be present in the moment even when it feels uncomfortable at times.
Because the moments we found here, we can't imagine having missed them.
Some places you'd visit.
Some places you'd choose again.
And if Asia intimidates you at all, like it did for us the very first time we visited, we think you'll enjoy this video next.
We hope you've enjoyed coming along to Laos with us. It's been one of our favorite places. If you haven't already subscribed, we'd love for you to do that. Our next stop is Bangkok.
And remember to
Wander more,
worry less.
and bring a passport.
Until next time.
Until next time.